4 kisses for a nickel. What the heck is that about? Let's get into it. All right, Vinyl Community, this is a contest entry. This is for Kim over This Is Music. He, and it's ending soon. I have to get this posted because I've been sitting on this. I've had this queued up to do and dot process for a couple weeks now. But I realized that the contest ends April 1st, so I got to get this up, like, now. Anyway, he wants to hear some hot takes. He wants to hear our hot takes. Unpopular positions that we may take. And it's easy to do. Obviously, we know this. Music is very subjective. Everybody is got their likes and dislikes. There's, the fact that people bicker and argue, it's so funny watching stuff on places like Facebook where people make an opinion and then there's all this fighting. It's an opinion. We all have them. We all like different things. Don't be so critical. And I think that's kind of what he's stirring up here, is taking opinion. People who want to, be the gatekeeper of this is the truth and nothing outside of this is true. But, it's not the case. We all love different things. We all have different opinions, and we all appreciate some things more than others. And so that's what these are. These are just, and in my case, I went ahead and picked some that I know are popular argument points that people go with. And so I'm going with my hot takes, and they are my opinion, and take them or leave them, whatever. Not everybody agrees. And I'm going to explain to you why I have my opinions. And I think sometimes people have opinions just because of, I don't know. It's hard to describe it. There's sort of a narrow-mindedness at times when it comes to certain things. I'll get into that when I get into it. Anyway, 4 kisses for a nickel. You'll understand as we go. I'm going to show 5 takes, and that will be the relation. And so 4 kisses. Kiss. First band I fell in love with, 1978. I discovered them. I immediately went out and bought Love Gun and Kiss Alive 2. And I was sold. My first concert was Kiss Dynasty Tour, 1979. I was almost 13 years old. Absolutely just adored them. So for me, when I was not so strict in my likes that I did not appreciate variant views, variant styles of music that popped up. So when the 4 solo albums came out, and I've related this before in my countdown and my rankings of the 4 solo albums from videos years gone past, I was able to appreciate the albums for being different. A lot of people hate the differences. They think this is the absolute worst album because it's so different. I am of the opinion, and I've said it before, if you took the picture off and you took the Kiss name off and you released this as a Peter Criss album to the general public, nobody knowing who Peter Criss necessarily was, the album is great. It's just not a Kiss album, and that's what freaks people out. But it's so different. But I think that's what makes the solo albums so fun, is that they're so different. And I've said it before too. Paul Stanley's to me sounds like a Kiss album. And so that album for me over the years has not been high ranking because it was just a lot of the same. It didn't really stray very much. Whereas Peter Criss's, all of the other ones kind of strayed. His the most because it's a totally different style of music. I love this album. I am able to appreciate this album for what it is. I do not hold it up to the high water mark of being a Kiss album. I don't compare it to a Kiss album. I compare it to what it is. And it's a great album. It's very catchy. It has just great musicianship, great catchy songs. And my musical tastes vary enough to where I can really appreciate it for what it is. So, hot take number 1, Peter Criss's solo album is a great album if you take it for what it is. Likewise for Gene Simmons. You'd expect Gene Simmons, a big mean monster, to come out with the heaviest stuff. I love this album. It's got a lot of weird stuff. When You Wish Upon a Star, weird, but I understand. I get it. But the rest of this album, I think everything about it. I don't have any ill thoughts of this album. It is different. It's not Kiss. I think if we could separate that idea and just do it as a separate album, maybe people could appreciate it more, but I really think it's a strong album. I do believe Aces is different enough, and I do believe that is the top, but I think that I probably would listen to Gene and Peter's album quicker than Running for Paul's. And I know that's just not a popular opinion, but I love Gene's album. I love Peter's album. I think they're two stellar albums if you take them at what they are. Likewise, I'm coming out of that. I'm in 78. I've got Love Gun. I'm picking up on the old stuff, and I'm moving right into the Dynasty years. I didn't bring that one up in this one, but I love that album. And likewise, Unmasked. Now, it was really nice because the other night I was involved in just the chat, watching the live broadcast of, JC and Aaron and Gary and Criss and Jeff talking about their 10 most popular Kiss songs. And I was thrilled to see albums making the list that years ago people would poo-poo. And this is one of them. Unmasked came off as being just, a lot of favorite songs off of this. And it's a great album. Yes, it's poppy. Yes, Creatures of the Night's probably the absolute greatest album, and that kind of came out in that series too. And it's one of their heaviest, and it's great. And you go back to the classics and all this stuff. This is a great album. I love this album. I just used to play this to death back in the day. So, I was young, and I didn't worry about the style changes. It was just another great album, and I took it at what it was. And I think that's a problem people don't have the ability to do sometimes. They only want to hear their favorite sound being mimicked over and over and over, and they can't let bands change, mature, grow. I think it's a great album. It's got a lot of great songs. It's got a lot of catchiness to it, and I think it gets looked down upon. You can't compare. Bands change, they grow, they mature, they alter. They're trying to stay alive. They're making, maybe they sell out a little bit, but I think it's great. I don't sit here and listen to this and say, it feels fake, like they're going through the motions. I think what they did great, and it's really catchy. And I love this album. There's not much in the Kiss catalog that I would say, I don't love. And that includes The Elder. That's the 4 Kisses. Here's your 4 Kisses. The Elder is different. It's not a Kiss album. Maybe that's what the problem is. It's not typically the Kiss album. It's what they were doing. It's an experiment. But what it is, if you listen to it, is it's good. It's a great album. It's just not a great Kiss album if you're going to put it into a catalog of releases and say, in comparison to everything else, this is the weakest album. But if you look at it and say, as a whole, is it good musically? Is it a good idea? It's a different idea for Kiss. But overall, the majority of songs are great songs if you take them out of the realm of they have to, match what I think Kiss should be doing. Anyway, I was also glad to see that some of these songs, people are respecting this album a lot more than they did 20, 30, 40 years ago, 30 plus years ago. It was really, a rough album for people. And nowadays, people, I think, have grown to respect it and like it more. And I'm glad to see that because I've always really liked it. It's just different. There's strong points. There's a couple weak points. But overall, it's great. So, 4 Kisses and a nickel. I like Nickelback. I don't know what the big issue is. Yes, they started off really heavy, but they always had commercial songs. And yes, they had a couple commercial songs that were more ballady, and they made it big. That's the goal of a band, is to sustain themselves, to show diversity, and to be able to break into it. And I think they've done that quite well. If you listen to just the songs on the radio is going to play all the light songs, Photograph and stuff like that. You plop the album on, you're not getting a lot of that. You're getting a couple songs that are radio airplay songs, and you're getting a lot of balls to the wall heaviness. And I think Nickelback has stuck to their guns on the majority of the songs that they tend to still be on the heavier side. And then they've got middle of the road songs and they've got lighter songs. But the diversity of the band is what I appreciate. And people say, it's a cookie cutter, sound. And yeah, I don't care. I like the sound. I think they've stayed somewhat consistent. I mean, they have varied a little bit and here and there, but for the past 10, 15 years, you know to expect a couple radio ballads, a couple middle-of-the-road quirky songs, and a bunch of heaviness. And I think that album after album, I'm pleased, and I enjoy the listen from start to finish. It's a journey and change of, a little bit of style change here and there. But overall, I think they're consistently edgy like I expect them to be. And so I like Nickelback. Hate me if you like. They're one of the few bands, I didn't like a lot of the 90s stuff. They're one of the few bands I like. Nickelback and Creed, there's my soft spot. Love it. So there you go. 5 hot takes, if you will. 5 opinions that maybe you don't agree with, but hopefully you don't unsubscribe. This is all in fun. We all enjoy music, and I enjoy a wide variety of music, and hopefully you can accept that and still be my friend. And this is, again, for Kim. Check out his channel. You probably can't jump on it now unless you see this and make a video right now because a contest is in them. But definitely support his channel. You don't even have to make a video. You go over there and make a comment on his video. That's all he's looking for. Check it out. Link below. See you later. Rock on and rock hard.